Hello everyone, today we will be going over central angles and arc measures. So we are talking about central angles, and a central angle is an angle with its vertex at the center. Get it smaller. Of the circle, and its two sides are radii, that is more than one radius. So if we're looking at our example here, here's one radius, here is another radius. And the sum of all central angles in a circle is 360 degrees. So all the angles do have to add up 360. So here, an example of a central angle is actually angle ABC. So ABC. The degree of the arc formed by the endpoints of a central angle is actually equal to the degree of that central angle. What that means is, for example, the measure of arc AC is 84. So it is equal to the central angle, and then ADC, so ADC, that is just the rest of it. So that's going to be 360 minus 84. So I take away the 84 that this is. That is actually going to give us 276 degrees. So that is 276. Of course, these two arcs added up will give you 360. So let's look at number one. So the directions for number one says find each angle and arc measures. There's a couple things I don't want you guys to forget when doing these. One is the fact that we can use vertical angles. So remember, vertical angles are the ones that look or where they cross at an X. So this is 21 degrees, this is 21 degrees. For these, I also like to look for half circles. So we look at the circle for number one, we see a diameter straight across. We are seeing this half circle right here. So if an entire circle is 360 degrees, then this is half of that, which will be, of course, 180. So if KL and LM together are 180, then this measure, we can subtract 21 from it and get KL. So 180 minus 21, that will be 159 degrees. So that is 159 here. We can actually already fill in KL. This is this measure right here, so 159 degrees. Arc JK, that is 21. So I also know that this is 21 degrees. Like I said, vertical angles are going to help you quite a bit here. So this is 159. This is also going to be 159. So J and M, that is also 159 degrees. Then we are looking for J, K, M. That's all three of these. So for that one, I am going to do 21 plus 159 plus 21. So 21 plus 159 degrees plus another 21 degrees. That is going to, I think, add up to 201 degrees. And then for MKL, it's actually this whole thing, MKL. So we're not actually using this 21. So if the entire thing is 360 and I'm not needing that 21, I could just say, well, the entire thing is 360. I don't need those 21 degrees. So I just subtract it from 360 and I get 339 degrees. Okay. Let's look at number two. So you're actually going to have to do this one on your own. I'm going to give you a hint. Remember, of course, half circles do equal 180. So anytime you see half a circle, those two have to add up to 180. But also SXW and BXU, those are vertical angles, which means they have to be the exact same degree. So this is 72. its vertical angle will also equal 72. So pause this video, get your answer, and go check with the sub to see if your answers are correct. So hopefully you didn't have a problem with number 2. Let's look at number 3. Number 3, see this 90-degree angle. Don't forget that is what that is. So if this angle is 90 degrees, then I know my arc here is also 90. And if this is 90 degrees, and I know this entire half circle has to be 180, then I know this is also 90 degrees. And here is another half circle. So we have 2 half circles in this case, right? We have one right here, but we also have one right there. So there's quite a few half circles. If you just take the second and look for them, then you should be able to find them. So again, if it's 90, it should be 90 here as well. So all of these are 90 degrees. So let's look at a couple things. So we found that CD, arc CD is 90. And we are now looking for FD. So FD let's erase these. So FD goes from here all the way there. So we know a couple pieces of information. My pen is messing up. So we know a couple pieces of information, such as that DE is 90. We also know that FE is 34. And so with that said, we can just say 90 plus 34. That is going to give us 124 degrees. Then we are looking for arc DCF. So that is this entire thing right here. DCF. So for DCF, I know 2 of these are 90. But because they form a half circle. But here we also have another half circle. And that makes it very easy to find arcGF. So arcGF, we would say these 3 have to add up to 180. So I'm going to subtract 180 minus 90 minus 34. That is actually going to give us 56 degrees. So GF over here measures 56 degrees. Now we have all the pieces that we need for our arc DCF. So DCF, that is going to be 90, 90, 56. So 90 plus 90 plus 56, and that actually is going to give us 236 degrees. And lastly, we have GDF. So GDF, GDF, I started early, didn't I? Here we go. GD all the way to F. So we could either add those up or we can subtract them from 360. Let's add them up. So I'm going to say we start here, 90, 90, 90, 34. So 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 34. And that actually gives us a measure of 304 degrees. Of course, you can subtract them from 360 because we only are not required to add this arc of GF. So that is one way to do it as well. Let's look at number 4. So number 4, you're going to do on your own. And I'm going to give you a little hint. We see vertical angles here. But I also see a 90-degree angle right here. So that means that these added up have to equal 90. And we already know one measure. So just find the other measure, work on your half circles, and you should be able to find the rest of these arcs. So pause this video, go ahead, do that, then go get your name tallied off with the sub. Number 7 is a little bit different because they don't actually give us any measures, which means we have to go in there and find our own measure. So here we have two values. We have 10x minus 22 degrees and 8x plus 12, but we do know that these are vertical angles, which does mean that they equal each other. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set them up. 10x minus 22 equal to 8x plus 12. I'm going to start off like I always do by moving my smallest variable, so that's going to cancel. Minus 8x on both sides, and we have 2x minus 22 equal to 12. My bad. Then from here, I am trying to isolate x, so I'm going to add 22 here and 22 on my other side as well. The 2x drops down, 12 plus 22, that is going to equal 34. And my very last step is to divide both sides by 2. So finally, after all that, I do have an x, and that is 17. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take this 17, plug it back into either one of my equations. I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to say 8 times 17 plus 12. And when we do that, that actually gives us 148 degrees. So this is 148. This over here will also be 148. So get the vertical angles, set them up equal to each other, find x, plug x back in, and you have some measures now. So x here, that ended up being 17. AD ended up being 148 degrees. Okay. So now we are looking for arc CD. We are looking for arc CD. Again, that does form part of a half circle. The half circle is right here. So I already know one measure of it. So here I'm going to say 180, because that's my half circle, minus the angle that I know, which is 148. And that is going to give us 32 degrees. So CD is 32, which actually means AB is also 32. And then last, we are looking for BDC. So BDC, we're going to start off BDC. That is what we are looking for. So arc BDC, I'm just going to add all those values up. I'm going to say 32 plus 148 plus 32. And that's going to give me 212 degrees. Let's look at number 8. So we are going to do this one on our own. Here's your hint. Your hint is that there is this half circle right here, which means this arc and this arc do have to equal 180 degrees. So find x, plug it back in, find the rest of your your arcs, and you should go check off your name with the sub. Check your answers, have them tally it off. And then, of course, after that, you are going to start working on your homework. So make sure you get started on that in class today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.